Hey guys, welcome back to Blaze Talk, and today we're going to be breaking down KHAMZAT CHIMAEV versus Nate Diaz, and why I think Nate Diaz will be victorious over KHAMZAT CHIMAEV. Now, I think Nate has very underrated boxing in the UFC. He's managed to outstrike Anthony Pettis, who at the time they thought was one of the most exciting and deadliest strikers in the welterweight division and in the UFC as a whole. He was just coming off a beautiful knockout over Wonderboy Thompson, who is still, considered to be one of the best strikers in the welterweight division still to this day. He's also stood toe-to-toe with Conor McGregor both times that they fought. He was managed to sort of outstrike and almost dominate McGregor and just sort of forward pressure in the fights, just sort of walking him down, overwhelming him with punches, just sort of making him miss, get him second guessing himself. As the first fight sort of ended with McGregor shooting for a takedown. So yeah, that was definitely not the sort of outcome people expected from the first McGregor fight. But I believe Nate's grappling is also very underlooked. His jiu-jitsu game is very good. I think he's got more submissions than knockouts in the UFC. He trains with the Gracie brothers, who are the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in MMA. They've won many tournaments and got many trophies and belts from jiu-jitsu, so I think Nate will definitely be looking to potentially submit KHAMZAT, or definitely showcase how good his jiu-jitsu is. Now, for Nate to be successful in this fight, I believe he's got to control the octagon, walk KHAMZAT down like he did over Pettis and Conor McGregor. If he can make it his style of fight, which is sort of keeping KHAMZAT against the fence and just sort of overwhelming him with strikes, from doing this, I believe KHAMZAT will probably be looking for massive overhand punches. He'll just sort of be throwing and hoping, that one lands. From this, I believe, he will just tire himself out, exhaust himself, which will be great for Nate, because then I think KHAMZAT will probably be looking to get a takedown from that, and I think it's a perfect chance for Nate to counter with a submission, with a guillotine or a Darce choke. I think Nate definitely needs to make this a brawl, as I said. He needs to make this a dirty boxing, tight-knit fight, a stand-up fight. He cannot let KHAMZAT take him down soon. He can't really let KHAMZAT get any takedowns from the centre of the octagon. I think, as I say, Nate just sort of needs to keep him at bay, close the range, and just sort of hail down punches on him, and, as I say, really piece KHAMZAT up, which I believe he will. People are also forgetting that this will be the biggest fight on stage of KHAMZAT's career. Now, I know obviously he has had fights over Gilbert Burns, he has had fights with Gerald Meerschaert. His stint on Fight Island was very impressive, but he is headlining potentially one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. The biggest, as I say, the biggest fight of his life is this weekend. He's never had this much spotlight on him, he's never had this much tension on him. I believe fighting Nate is only a golden ticket to success, so it'll be interesting to see if the moment does get to him in the octagon, perhaps could even affect his performance or his game plan. He might feel the need to make a statement, whether to sort of just stand with Nate, prove to everyone that he can knock him out. Nate ain't that much of a striker, but I believe that's where he'll be wrong, and I think Nate will definitely potentially capitalise on that. Nate might see maybe that the moment's getting to KHAMZAT and just sort of do his thing, but Nate has been in this spot for years. He's been carrying cards. He was pretty much the co-main event on the Adesanya Vettori card, and you're talking about Israel Adesanya, one of the most dominating middleweight champions of all time, and the fact that Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards probably was the people's main event, was the true main event, stole the show of the entire cards. So this is just what Nate does. So all the pressure will be on KHAMZAT to, as I say, make quick work of Nate. He's got everyone with him. He's got fighters, he's got betting sites. He's a massive favourite in this fight. Nobody expects Nate to win. Nobody thinks Nate will win. That's going to be the biggest danger for KHAMZAT going into this fight. No one thinks that Nate has any chance of beating him, but in my opinion he's got every chance of beating KHAMZAT CHIMAEV. And as I say, KHAMZAT CHIMAEV is a great fighter. He has had an incredible run in the UFC. His wins over Gerald Meerschaert and Li Jingliang get more impressive the more those guys fight. His fight with Gilbert Burns was one of the best fights of the year and a hard-fought victory. Could have gone either way. Both men showed tremendous heart. Both men pieced each other up, landed big significant strikes, takedowns from KHAMZAT's end. So that was a great fight, and I'm not taking anything away from KHAMZAT. I think, as I say, he's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. I think he's got all the potential to be one of the biggest stars in the UFC. But in the Gilbert Burns fight, he did take a lot of damage. I believe he did absorb 117 significant strikes from Gilbert Burns, and in my opinion I do believe he is returning to the octagon quite soon. You know, he did get busted up in that fight, he didn't come out unscathed. As I say, Gilbert touched him up, and I think Nate will capitalise on this. I think he will be looking to test KHAMZAT's chin and his durability. Now I have no doubt in my mind KHAMZAT's got tremendous heart. He showed it in all his UFC fights. He's got the desire to win and be dominating. So if you look at the first round of the Gilbert Burns fight, he knocked him down with a jab and looked like he was potentially going to get him out with that. So yeah, KHAMZAT's got tremendous desire, but I just think that this fight will be a lot more competitive than fans and fighters are making it out to be, and I do truly believe Nate will beat KHAMZAT, given he fights, you know, the Nate Diaz fight, the Nate Diaz style. If you look at the success, now I know it was 1 minute of the last round, but even that significant strike in the Leon Edwards fight, now Nate can learn a lot even from that, you know. If you look at the Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz fight, Nate Diaz wasn't really fighting too much, he wasn't really throwing too much. Granted, Leon is a very technical fighter, and you know, Leon isn't a tremendously high output fighter, but he was baiting Nate. But if Nate can get going straight away in the KHAMZAT fight, just, you know, not take a back step, not slow down, as they make it a grueling fight for Nate. I think Nate's got this fight in the bag, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by the outcome of this fight. I think Nate's going to be, you know, leaving the UFC on a high note with a win, boost his sort of free agency status, get a shitload of money elsewhere. He's got his own fight company up and running, which will be very exciting. Well, I hope you guys really did enjoy the video. I hope you guys can sort of see where I was coming from in Nate getting a victory. Comment down below who you think's going to win, and as I say, don't just say KHAMZAT because you think, oh, he's the fucking Czechoslovakian wrestler, you know what I mean? I want reasons, you know. I want analysis, I want a bit of a breakdown. As I say, stay tuned for more UFC content and stay blazed. Peace.